Guys, I'm used to doing 40-hour trainings, so trying to condense any kind of education is very difficult for me, but I'm gonna do my best, okay? So as we said, I'm Vanessa Rodriguez. And for those that don't know me, I just want to give you kind of actually, can you start next? Oh, sure. Yeah.
Page down.
No, why?
The arrow.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, no.
I love this. We need to work this out though. Oh, there it is. You can see it on
Oh.
the neutral green.
That's what's the problem.
Perfect. Okay. Okay, can you go, there you go.
Too far or no?
Okay, so I want to, let's just jump into it, you guys. So today I'm talking about vicarious trauma. This is a very, 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 very personal passion and very, very important to me, near and dear to my work, to the therapists on my team, and just in the community at large and the people that I treat. And so I start with self-awareness, okay? Who am I? I'm a therapist, and I think what I really want to highlight to you guys very briefly, that I've been working with specifically people that have been traumatized and abused for nearly 2 decades. And 2 decades is a very long time to be exposed, treating, hearing, experiencing, dealing, helping, supporting, all of that jazz with pain, depression, hurt, anxiety, kind of the depths of hell, really. And so specifically, the population that I've been working with is primarily domestic violence, victim treatment, offender treatment, victims of sexual assault, as well as first responders. And so I really highlight that because I see the vicarious traumatization in my clients on another level, as they are the first line of defense. And we are called upon to be providing help and support for those, which by default, we are going to be vicariously traumatized. I'm the first to say I am vicariously traumatized. And so I'm very self-aware, and I honor, and I'm open about it. I'm open about it. I have nightmares. I have bad insomnia. I'm hypervigilant. I re-experience things. I take things home with me. No matter how much training I have that we all attain, we are not immune to the rub off, the residue, the spillover of the work we do. That is a hard fact. And again, no matter how much self-care, we're going to talk about all that today. It would behoove everybody, all of us, to honor and radically accept that we are not well. And I don't mean that to stigmatize, but we need to be honest with ourselves, because we cannot practice what we preach. How the quality of our care is going to go down. So who are you? I guess we already kind of went through that, so let's just kind of push through that. So I simply put, are you vicariously traumatized? TS, we're going to get to that. It's in other words, it's compassion fatigue. It's traumatic stress. I do have a vicarious trauma assessment. I'm happy, it's up to you guys if we can just kind of run through this. If everybody can get a piece of paper and pen, I'm going to read over these questions. The instructions are, it's 1 through 5. 1 is never, 5 is very often, okay? 3 is sometimes. So 1 is never, 2 is rarely, 3 sometimes, 4 often, 5 very often. All right, number 1. This is the vicarious trauma assessment. I feel overwhelmed by the thought of going to work each day. 1 is never, 5 is very often. 2, I feel exhausted from the moment I get to work. Number 3, I'm unable to stop thinking about a particular situation I worked on. Number 4, I have little motivation when I am at work. Number 5, I have a difficult time not thinking about work when I'm home. Number 6, I'm startled easily by loud noises. Number 7, I'm easily irritated and have a harder time coming back to center once I'm irritated. Number 8, I feel like I have little to no control over my day-to-day life. Number 9, I feel as though I'm experiencing the trauma of someone else that I have helped. Number 10, I am preoccupied with wanting to follow up with specific clients I've interacted with. That's often what I see with therapists. Okay, number 11, I feel overwhelmed by the system I work within. Number 12, I have a difficult time seeing any good in the work I have done. Number 13, I feel trapped at work. Number 14, I'm having a difficult time sleeping. Number 15, I have headaches which only occur when I'm at work. Number 16, I've had a change in appetite. Number 17, I no longer find pleasure in the things I used to do for fun. Number 18, I do not want to attend supervision. Number 19, I am avoiding my colleagues. Number 20, I've begun to procrastinate more. Number 21, I no longer find joy in my work. Number 22, I have little to no compassion for the clients I engage with. Number 23, I feel distant or cut off from other people. Number 24, I feel emotionally numb or feel unable to have loving feelings for those close to me. Number 25, I'm having trouble falling or staying asleep. Number 26, I have difficulty concentrating. Number 27, I am super alert or watchful or on guard. Number 28, I'm feeling jumpy. Number 29, I feel as if my future will somehow be cut short. And number 30, I've been having angry outbursts. Okay, so go ahead and add them up if you can. I'm not good at math either, so we'll give you a minute. And I can email this to you.
Please.
Yeah, I'll email this to you. Does anybody want to be so brave to share their number or score? 66. Yeah. Anybody else wanna?
50.
Okay, 50.
48.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's 42, but I don't do direct service, like if I reflected back than residential care. Yes, loud noises.
Yeah.
Certainly all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Well.
I did a combination, so I just left probation.
Your old life and your new life.
22 for currently 76. So
Holy moly.
that's why I switched.
76 is burnout. That's
I
burnout.
have 72 and I don't do therapy at all.
You and Amelia are high risk. High risk burnout. You three, low risk. But 33 and under is no signs of burnout. So you guys all have signs.
Wow, 33 and under.
Yeah.
You can only have a 2 on it.
I don't even, I'm just proud.
Oh yeah, does anybody want to share on the, over there, your number, your score?
I'm still adding.
Oh,
That's my concentration and my memory.
I put in the chat, I'm at 47.
yeah. Low risk. But you, you're experiencing burnout signs of it. So, okay, I'm gonna send this, it has more detailed information, but you know, there's time.
Wow.
Let's move forward. Okay, so what are we gonna be learning? Again, you guys, because there's limited time, we're just gonna be kind of doing the framework, okay? We're not doing a deep dive today. I wanna make sure that you guys leave here knowing that there is a difference between vicarious trauma, compassion fatigue, and burnout. There is a difference. People think it's all this, they're under the same umbrella, they're cousins, they're family members, but they are different. I'm gonna go over just 5 key points to what vicarious trauma is. And then I'm gonna be talking about vicarious resilience. Have you guys ever heard of that?
No.
Beautiful. I'm glad you're learning something over here. So I'll be going kind of, again, basic 5 points. And then what to do. How to combat it. Kind of ABCs, which there's handouts in here, and I'll send it out. And 8 tips are actually in the PowerPoint. Okay, so what is vicarious trauma? Vicarious trauma, also known as secondary. First of all, this vicarious trauma, you guys, this term was developed in 1982. Okay, not that long ago. Can you imagine how much trauma has been in our world? How long it's been happening with what? So the fact that barely in 1982 there was, I think it was Big Lee Perlman, some psychologists in any case have coined this term, vicarious trauma. And it's the original creator of this, he actually coined it as simply the cost of caring. The cost of caring. That's the simplest.
That sounds like Dr. Bruce Perry.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just straight to the point. And there's a cost. You guys, like I said, that we can do all the training, all the self-care. It is impossible. It's unrealistic. And it's not, yes, it's not realistic that we're not going to be impacted by the work that we do this field, whether we're direct service providers, peer support specialists, because there's direct trauma, PTSD, and then there's indirect trauma, which is VT. Okay, so also known as secondary trauma refers to the emotional, psychological, and physical distress. Emotional feelings, you guys, psychological, mind, brain, how we view things, how we conceptualize things, how we view the world. And physical, again, nightmares, insomnia, eating habits, physical health just completely decompensates. That vicarious trauma can occur when individuals are exposed to the traumatic experience of others. So when I work with the first responders, they're very, they don't like the stigma of PTSD. It's a weakness, I'm tough, just suck it up. I mean, I can go on and on and on.
Micromilitary.
Yes, but They are a little bit more open to PTSI, post-traumatic stress injuries. They don't like the word disorder. But the way I try to begin to start the conversation is that, I mean, they know what PTSD is. And they're okay to acknowledge that the people that they respond to are traumatized and perhaps have PTSD. And I tell them, well, guess what? PTSD is contagious. It's contagious. Sorry, it is. It's contagion. So if you are exposed to that, more likely than not, you will have some residue from that person's trauma. This phenomenon often affects professionals who work in helping or caregiving roles, such as therapists, social workers, healthcare providers, first responders, journalists, just to name a few. Okay, I can't imagine what's happening in all the journalists over there in the war right now. I can't, I mean, it's giving me goosebumps. Ugh. How much vicarious traumatization they're experiencing right now. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so what is compassion fatigue? Compassion fatigue is also known as secondary traumatic stress. Okay, there's a difference between trauma and stress, and I'm sure you guys are all on this guide team. There is a difference, and I do have another scale. It's a secondary traumatic stress scale. We won't go over it today, but I will email it to you, and then you guys can have access to all of this. Again, it's about awareness. This is all about self-awareness. So what is compassion fatigue? It's the emotional, physical exhaustion, okay, that can result from the demands of caring for others who are experiencing significant emotional pain and stress. So what causes it? It stems from the empathic engagement with others' suffering, leading to a gradual draining of one's emotional resources. So you're depleted. You know, we've all heard, how can you pour, you know, from an empty cup, right? We need to fill our cup first. The way I try to describe compassion fatigue is you're just drained. You're just drained.
That's the perfect word.
Yeah, exactly. So some symptoms are feelings of apathy, reduced ability to feel empathy, irritability, and a sense of being overwhelmed. Sound familiar? Yes. All of law enforcement agency, I mean, even courts, you know, let me stick to this. Okay, so these are some of the most common symptoms. Apathy, empathy, not just you're exhausted, you're just drained, you're drained. I don't know how to simply put that. Okay, can you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. Okay, what is burnout? Burnout is a state of chronic, emphasize chronic, physical and emotional exhaustion, often accompanied by feelings of cynicism, okay, and detachment from work-related responsibilities. So kind of like the, kind of disgust, eye rolling, pessimism, cynicism. When you heard, you know, kind of this crotchety, just irritable. You're burnt out. You're burnt to a crisp. What's the cause? It's typically associated with prolonged exposure to work-related stressors, such as high workload, lack of control, and insufficient support. And so burnout is, in my opinion, can be combated more through organizational systems. If you have enough support, if you have enough supervision, if you have enough consultation, if you have a department backing you up, or your agency, or you know, your clinic, or wherever your workplace is, if you feel supported by them, if you're in a system where you feel support, because if you're drained and then the system isn't there to equip. My client this morning, the deputy was involved in an OI officer involved shooting, and it's all over the media, it's just ongoing. And he doesn't feel support by his department. He said no one, they have a wellness unit, nobody has reached out to him. Just to say, hey, we're here for you, well, we saw you on the news. Nothing. He's like, no wonder why officers kill themselves, you know, and he's like, this is my cry for help. Talked to his attorney this morning and they're like, yeah, you can take time off, but it's leave without pay and it's gonna affect your retirement.
Oh my
You
God.
gotta earn your sick vacation, your sick hours, your vacation hours, and this is not work related.
Of course
Oh
it
my
is.
gosh.
Yeah, I know. So the whole session was, I mean, it was awful this morning. It's sad, it's sad. And so it's an additional, not additional, tertiary quadruple trauma, 4, 5, 6, that he doesn't even feel supported by his department. Or the people that are supposed to be supporting him, and you would think that want his well. He's like, I'm in uniform crying in patrol, this is embarrassing. You know, so anyways, burnout can be combated a lot through organizational support. Not to say even if you had organizational support in a perfect system, doesn't mean that you're not, it alleviates burnout, but I just know that that's something that has helped to combat that. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so just a quick recap. What's the difference between vicarious trauma, compassion fatigue, and burnout? Vicarious trauma focuses on the psychological impact, right? Our psychological impact. Compassion fatigue emphasizes exhaustion that results from empathic caregiving, and burnout as a more generalized state of chronic stress and depletion. Important to note that we can experience one or a combination of these. It is crucial to recognize and identify specific challenges they are facing to provide appropriate support and intervention. As I said earlier, I'm vicariously traumatized, but I'm not burnt out by any means. I'm ready to go all the time because I feel like I have purpose, I have passion, I have freedom, you know, because I am not kind of part of the bureaucracy. So it gives me confidence to have autonomy, which I think, like I said, I'm blessed that I don't have burnout. Not to say I can't happen, because I'm human. But I don't have any compassion fatigue either. But VT, yes, absolutely. Okay, can we go? Okay. 5 key points about vicarious trauma. Unlike direct trauma experience firsthand, vicarious trauma occurs through indirect exposure to the traumatic experience of others. This exposure can happen through listening, simply listening. Listening. I can't tell you how many calls I responded to for dispatchers. Hearing TV calls, hearing, you know, murder, suicide. I don't know if you guys remember the, it's so awful in Paradise Hills, the family, it was restraining order and poor kid, it was, in any case, I have a lot of case examples, you guys, I'm not trying to traumatize you guys. But simply listening to clients' traumatic stories, viewing graphic images or videos. This is so huge, so huge now in our new age of social media and news, and you know, you're watching TV and there's a banner and more news, and then we are completely inundated by images and videos of trauma and violence. It has an impact. They had a study with 9/11 when they did a longitudinal study with children that watched, you know, when 9/11 happened, they were showing the videos again and again and again and then again and then again and then again and again. And the children had no idea it was just a repeat. And so they follow these children and the exposure, and I mean, debilitating effects, the impact. Being involved in situations where others are suffering. Okay, so being a fly on the wall, essentially. So maybe you're not providing direct services, per se, but if you're, say, an innocent bystander of a car accident, okay, you're not even a service provider. Or how many, you know, mass shootings, that, again, there's other different layers, right? You don't have to be on scene, you don't have to be it, you can hear it. And or you can know someone who is there and knows that maybe you identify or something, yeah, it's a personal identification. And so it impacts very much, again, psychologically, emotionally, and physically. Again, like PTSD. So second point, empathy and compassion. Professionals in caregiving roles often cultivate empathy and compassion to connect with those that are helping. I mean, it's kind of in our nature. We're helping professions that we want compassion, really. There's a new book that came out with Oprah, and he was actually saying how empathy is not the end all be all. Because there's a lot of parents who are very empathetic with, for example, there's a lot of parents who are very empathetic with their children, but then have no boundaries and no discipline and no consequences. Whereas compassion, you need compassion. Not to say that empathy is not important, but it's, I guess newer research is showing that it can be, what do you call it? What's the word? Overcompensating, overworking. However, the repeated exposure to traumatic narratives can take an emotional toll, leading to symptoms similar to those experienced by individuals who directly experience trauma. Again, just more impacts. Can we go to the next one, please? Symptoms, kind of over this, exhaustion, heightened anxiety, sleep disturbances, sense of powerlessness. That's huge. Huge, 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 huge. Learned helplessness, difficulty concentrating, diminished sense of personal accomplishment, just not feeling passionate, not feeling eager, feeling like nothing matters, it's pointless. What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? These types of symptoms can impact both personally, home life, as well as professionally. Prevalence. Again, it's not uncommon among individuals and helping professions. It's important for us to be aware of the potential and to take proactive steps to mitigate its effects. Prevention coping. Self-care practices, setting boundaries. We're going to talk about this a little bit more in detail. Seeking supervision support, engaging in regular professional development, training, and being mindful awareness, being mindful of one's own emotional well-being. All right. Okay, so what is vicarious resilience? Well, vicarious trauma highlights the negative effects of indirect exposure. Vicarious resilience emphasizes the positive impact. So before I move to the next slide, what do you guys thought about this? What comes to mind? Any thoughts? Ideas?
Your ability to connect with other people.
Who you surround yourself with, choosing resilience.
Yeah. How
Give back, or like if you were one who even like did some harm potentially, or have been impacted by harm, you're just giving back to the community to help to maybe like even so some maybe doing the harm reduction or a lot of prevention work. So
yes.
Or being, being a part of it, being the victim, but being able to build out of it, right? Seeing other people that are victimized and like learning from it, or seeing things that, oh, I'm not gonna do that, or.
Yeah. So doing this work, yes, it sounds like depressing with this vicarious trauma. And yes, it can be. Yes. But it is not, I love it. I love it because of this. Resilience is taking risks. Being confident to take risks. And that's just one part of resilience. But there are positive outcomes from doing this work. on us. What we learn from the work we do, what we see, what we experience, the growth. I mean, yeah, I mean, I can't tell you, people think victims, you know, just the word victim. All my years working, providing direct care to victims, they are the person. I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim. I'm not, they do not want to identify with that at all, because the negative connotation that they're weak, they're easy, they're pansies, they're all kinds of negative things. People that have been victimized are some of the strongest people I know. They are the most resilient people I know, and savvy, very savvy, but they are strong, they're smart. They are not weak. They are not weak at all. And I have come to my own realization, because I see them resilient every freaking day. Every freaking day. And yeah, while it sucks in the beginning, seeing them in crisis and they're really not well, to be able to see the growth, oh my God. Oh, it's powerful. It's in wonder. I'm in awe and wonder of the growth that happens on both ends, victims and offenders. Okay, so what are the 5 points? Positive transformation. Vicarious resilience suggests that individuals, often in caregiving roles, can undergo positive changes in their own beliefs, attitudes, and perspectives by witnessing the resilience and strength of those they work with. So yeah, we witness trauma, but we also witness their resilience. This positive transformation may involve an increased sense of hope, empowerment, and a renewed belief in the capacity for healing and growth. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Can you go to the next one, please? Thank you. Learning from others. Professionals who regularly interact with individuals who have faced adversity or trauma may find inspiration in their clients' ability to overcome challenges. They're inspiring. They're inspiring. It inspires me anyway. Witnessing others' resilience can serve as a source of motivation and encouragement for those providing support. So when you witness growth, you know, and just, I wouldn't be a regular person, but like a regular, not even, like, going through a divorce, and feeling completely fractured and don't know what to do, lost, my life is turned upside down, and to see them find themselves, a new self or what have you, and then now they're doing this and dating and getting pregnant and like, it's beautiful. It's freaking beautiful. And so yes, the work we do is hard. It is hard, but we don't talk enough about the positives of the work we do, you know, and the importance of the work we do, and how it's also healing for us vicariously. 3, enhanced empathy and understanding. Exposure to stories of resilience and triumph can deepen professionals' understanding of the human capacity to overcome adversity. The human capacity to overcome adversity, especially when it comes to the big T's, the sexual assaults, that they get up every day, they come to therapy, or they're doing whatever they need to do. Everybody's path looks different, but the human capacity that they keep going, it's remarkable. It's completely remarkable. And so this enhanced empathy may positively influence the quality of care and support they provide to others. All right. The last 2, personal and professional growth. Vicarious resilience is associated with personal and professional growth. It can lead to an increased sense of efficacy, meaning feeling, I'm very, and not to toot, but I'm very confident in my skills. Very, very, very confident in my skills. And that's time served, because I have boots on the ground, doing the work, have done the work, still do the work. And so it gives me, as a, not as a provider, but as a human being. As a human being, if I can do this work, and granted, I'm not a miracle here, I'm a human. But if I can do this work and help one person, it helps me feel confident, helps me feel feel efficient. Job satisfaction and a greater ability to navigate the emotional challenges inherent in caregiving roles. Because again, you know, this work is not easy. And lastly, cultural competence. In multicultural and diverse settings, vicarious resilience may contribute to cultural competence by exposing individuals to a variety of coping strategies, strengths, and resilience factors within different communities. So again, it's doing, at least in my position as a clinician, I don't know who's coming through the door. I have no idea. I have no idea what cultural background they come from, what strengths, what coping strategies that they've had in the past that comes with their family, comes with their religion, culture, ethnicity, everything, you know, and it's really cool to learn about people's different professions, different life stories, different like it expands and diversifies my portfolio, my brain. And so it's a big it's a big gain for us, the providers. So now it's in my little brain, little toolbox. So moving forward, I'm able to pull it out and elicit when I need it. Okay. All right. How are we doing with time? We're done. Okay. So why don't I just leave it up to quick questions or anything? I mean, I can send this to you.
Yeah, we love it. We would love the slide deck, your handouts.
So the ABCs are, I have a handout. It's a quick way to,
You can go over these slides. Why don't we just do that?
so there's 8 points after this and then we're done. Let's just do, like, can you just go to the next sheet? Yeah. Okay, what to do? Self-awareness, easy, again. Look in the mirror. Be honest with yourself. What's going on in your mind, your body, what's going on? Self-care, prioritize self-care. You guys, we talk about this, you guys know this. Exercise, sleep, healthy nutrition, all that's free. Boundaries, we talk about this all the time too. Maintain clear boundaries between your personal and professional life. Take care of yourself. Supervision support, seek supervision and support from colleagues, supervisors, or mentors. Discussing your experience with others who understand the nature of the work can be therapeutic. So community, which is this. This is beautiful. Community. Professional development, stay informed about the latest research, best practices, learning, right? You want to be efficient. You want to be confident. Mindfulness, relaxation techniques, meditation, deep breathing, yoga, all this is free, you guys. And then therapy, consider therapy for emotional reactions, coping strategies, and regular breaks. Take breaks from exposure to traumatic material, especially if you work in an environment, consistently dealing with this. So if I'm doing a whole day of, I don't know, seeing police officers, I'm not gonna go home and watch cops. Like, no. Or had all day doing sexual, I'm not gonna watch, what is it, Law and Order SVU? No. So take breaks. And remember that addressing vicarious trauma is an ongoing process and different strategies work for different people. It is essential to prioritize your well-being and seek professional help if needed.
Really.
Can you take one of these?